Today, we are going to take a darker turn. We'll delve into the psyche of an individual who operates outside the realms of empathy, compassion, and remorse. This is someone who would stop at nothing to manipulate, deceive, and harm others in pursuit of their personal interests. These aren't just theoretical scenarios. In fact, they represent the very choices people make each and every day. These actions epitomize what is truly perilous, utterly cold-hearted, and genuinely antisocial. Before we dive deeper, it should be noted that what we are about to discuss is not for the faint-hearted. The situations are extreme, and the decisions they impose on us are even more disturbing. The purpose of this is not to glorify or sensationalize these behaviors. It's to understand the darkest side of human nature. Ready? Let's get started. Question 1. Consider this chilling scenario. There is a death row inmate who, despite being confined within the imposing walls of the prison, still manages to brutally take the life of one of his fellow inmates at regular intervals. Why on earth would he do such a thing? Take a moment to think it over in your mind, and you can share your insights in the comment section later for discussion. Here's a hint to help you along. For those with antisocial personality disorder, other people's lives are regarded as worthless consumables that can be discarded at will. When it comes to a critical moment concerning their own survival, as long as it can buy them a slim chance of staying alive, they won't hesitate to push others into the abyss, showing no regard for the other's fates, just as resolutely throwing someone under a speeding bus in a crisis. So, the answer to this question becomes clear. In judicial practice, when a death row inmate commits a new crime, the original execution process of the death penalty usually has to be postponed. And precisely because these death row inmates with antisocial personality disorders are well aware of this, in order to cling to life a little longer, they insanely choose to sacrifice the lives of their fellow inmates, using others' lives as chips to extend their own survival. Now, take a moment to calm down and think. If you were in such an extreme predicament, facing such a difficult choice, would you have the resolve and awareness to make the so-called right choice? This is not only a deep exploration of this question, but also a profound inquiry into the bottom line of human nature. Question 2. Now, please picture this scene in your mind. Think of the person you dislike the most. Imagine that he is in an extremely critical situation at this moment, clinging to the edge of a cliff with both hands, his whole body suspended in the air, his life hanging by a thread, and there is no one else around, completely alone and helpless. So, now it's your turn to make a decision. What would you choose? Would you choose to stand by and watch coldly, letting him struggle on the verge of life and death and fend for himself? Or would you, out of humanitarian spirit, offer him a helping hand without hesitation, or call for rescue quickly to give him a glimmer of hope? Or, driven by the momentary malice in your heart, would you take an even more extreme action and simply stomp on his hand hard, pushing him completely into the abyss? Here's a key hint for you. People with antisocial personality disorders often see such terrifying moments. In their twisted inner worlds, the suffering and despair of others are not reasons for sympathy, but rather sources of excitement and satisfaction for them. They even take pleasure in watching others suffer, seeing others struggling in difficulties, while they themselves can derive a perverted pleasure from it. So, as far as this question is concerned, the answer is already clear. They are very likely to slowly, but firmly, finger by finger, pry open the victim's hands, clinging to the edge of the cliff, playing with other people's lives, and watching coldly as the other person falls into the endless darkness. It should be noted that this may not be the standard answer applicable to everyone, but there is no doubt that this is definitely the answer that best suits the psychological preferences of people with antisocial personality disorders. At this moment, take a moment to ask yourself, when facing the tragic situations of others, can you keep your composure and even derive pleasure from it? Is this just a normal manifestation of human nature in extreme situations? Or is there something deeper and darker lurking beneath the seemingly calm surface of human nature? These series of questions are worthy of in-depth consideration by each of us. Question 3. Picture this. You and your dearest friend have reached the pinnacle of entrepreneurial success, amassing a fortune that draws envy from all around. A prominent TV program extends a coveted invitation for you two to share your inspiring rags to riches journey. But in a chilling turn of events, just prior to setting foot on the show's set, you take your friend's life. Why? For the average person, the immediate thoughts would likely veer towards a fractured friendship or a simmering financial feud. But for those with an antisocial personality, their focus would instantaneously lock on to the seemingly innocuous detail of appearing on the show. Being under the spotlight of a TV interview implies bearing one's true self, warts and all, to the public. This is anathema to the antisocial psyche. In their skewed perception, people are disposable pawns, and friendship is but a manipulable tool. If reading themselves, if someone becomes the linchpin for safeguarding their carefully crafted, successful facade, they won't bat an eyelid. Morality and the bonds of friendship are trifling matters, tossed aside without a second thought. Their prime directives are self-preservation and the unrelenting pursuit of their goals. Reflect on this. These antisocial individuals are not only willing to make such callously cold-blooded decisions, but do so routinely, day in and day out. What does this divulge about their worldview? Question 4. Imagine this scenario. You are heading towards a vitally significant meeting, but unfortunately, you get caught in a traffic jam, and it's crystal clear that there's no way you can reach the meeting place on time. At this moment, take a moment to introspect and ask yourself, what actions would you take? Would you readily assume the blame for your lateness and engage in self-reflection? Or let me ponder. Perhaps the reason of traffic congestion seems too flimsy. What if you were to deliberately engineer a serious car accident? Indeed, those with an antisocial personality would have no hesitation in making such a choice. They show scant respect for rules, turn a blind eye to moral norms, are devoid of any sense of guilt or remorse, and lack the ability to empathize with others. When confronted with choices that demand ordinary people to weigh a multitude of considerations, their decisions are callous and, in their distorted perception, more efficient. Now, please halt your thoughts for a while and earnestly ask yourself this question. Which direction would your choice tend to lean towards? These 4 situations are not easy to contemplate. They compel us to confront the darkest corners of our souls and question the choices we might make in moments of fear, power, or anger. Antisocial individuals live by their own set of rules. Their decisions are cold-hearted, calculated, and self-serving. I would like to remind you that this is not a professional psychological analysis, nor should it be regarded as a formal diagnosis. It is about understanding the behaviors that exist in certain people and what it would be like when we are faced with choices that put our humanity to the test. These are not just hypothetical scenarios. They occur in various forms every single day. Give some in-depth thought to the scenarios we have discussed. Share your thoughts and your answers to these questions in the comment section below. This is not about passing judgment on you, but rather about understanding all the complexities of human nature. Stay vigilant and stay safe. Please keep in mind that some truths about human behavior are darker than we are willing to admit. Think twice before passing judgment on someone's actions.